Welcome to Whisper Bloom Studio, where English stories bloom under the stars.
Hi there, my name is Sam, and today I'm going to tell you a story about a town that changed the way I see grammar forever. You see, grammar used to scare me. All those rules, all those confusing words. Present simple, past continuous. What does it all mean? I didn't get it. I didn't like it. And honestly, I just wanted to speak without thinking about grammar all the time. But that all changed when I moved. It started on a normal Monday morning. My family had just moved to a new town, a small, quiet place with green hills, clean streets, and houses that all looked the same. I was still sleepy when we arrived. I looked out the car window. Nothing seemed special. No malls, no big schools, just birds, trees, and a peaceful sky. But something felt different. We stopped in front of a small house with a red door. My parents smiled and said, "Welcome to your new home, Sam." I forced a smile and nodded. But inside, I wasn't excited. New town, new school, new everything. I missed my old friends. I missed knowing where everything was. Now, I had to start again. I stepped out of the car, stretched my arms, and looked around. Then, I saw it. In the middle of the town square, there was a big archway, made of stone. And on that archway, a glowing sign. "Welcome to Grammar Town. Learn the rules or get stuck in the loop." What does that even mean? I whispered to myself. Before I could say another word, a squirrel appeared. Yes, a real squirrel, wearing a little top hat. He stood on his back legs and smiled like a person. "Hello, Sam," he said. "Welcome to Grammar Town." I stared at him, completely frozen. The squirrel tipped his hat and continued, "Your first stop is Present Simple Park. You can't leave until you speak correctly." And just like that, he disappeared into thin air. Now, if this were a normal day, I'd think I was dreaming. But something told me this was real. Something told me this was the beginning of something important. So, I took a deep breath. I walked under the archway, and I stepped into Grammar Town. What I didn't know yet was that this town was going to teach me grammar in a way I'd never seen before. Fun, magical, and a little weird. I followed the winding path until I saw a big sign, Present Simple Park. Learn habits, daily routines, and simple facts. A colorful gate stood in front of me. It opened with a click, and that's where the real adventure began. As I walked into Present Simple Park, I looked around. It was bright, colorful, full of sounds and movement, or almost full of movement. There were trees shaped like pencils, benches that whispered grammar tips when you sat down, and signs floating in the air, glowing softly. But the biggest thing in the park was the roller coaster. It was huge. Bright red tracks twisted through the sky. But something was wrong. The roller coaster wasn't moving. People were waiting in line, but the ride just sat there, silent. I walked closer and saw a big screen at the entrance. It read, "This ride only starts when you speak in present. Simple. What do you do every morning?" I blinked. What? A robot rolled toward me. It had shiny eyes, big metal hands, and a bow tie made of paper clips. "Good morning," it said. "Please tell me your daily routine. What do you do every morning?" I scratched my head. This was strange. I wake up," I said. The robot shook its head. Please speak in complete present simple sentence. I froze. Complete sentence? What even is present simple again? Just then, someone tapped me on the shoulder. She looked about my age, brown hair, bright eyes, and a confident smile. Hi, she said. First time here. I nodded. No problem, she said. I'll help you. Just speak about your daily routine. What do you do in the morning? Try this. I wake up at 6 a.m. Easy, right? I took a deep breath. Okay. I wake up at 7 a.m. The robot smiled. Good. What next? It asked. I brush my teeth, I said. I eat breakfast. I go to school. Suddenly the screen flashed green. The roller coaster lights turned on. The people in line started cheering. The ride was back. Nice job, said the girl. Present simple is used for habits. Things you do every day. Oh, I said. So that's what this is? She nodded. Yep, it's one of the most important grammar rules. We use the base form of the verb with I, you, we, and they. But for he, she, and it, we add s. She pointed to a new sign that appeared in the air. It said, I walk to school. She walks to school. They play football. He plays football. See, she said, it's not hard. You just need to remember who you're talking about. I looked back at the roller coaster. It zoomed past us with loud cheers and loops in the sky, and all it took was present simple. I think I'm getting the hang of this, I said. The girl smiled. Great, I'm Lily, by the way. I'm Sam. We shook hands. But before I could say more, I heard barking. A group of animals was gathering near the pet stage. Lily turned to me and said, Come on, let's go to the animal show. They'll only perform if we talk about what they do. I followed her, ready for the next challenge. So far, I had learned this. Present simple is used for things we do again and again. Habits, facts, simple actions in our daily life. And now, it was time to talk about he and she. And let me tell you, those animals were serious about grammar. Lily and I followed the sounds of barking, clapping, and was that a chicken singing? We reached a small stage surrounded by a crowd of children and animals. A sign above the curtain read, The Amazing Present Simple Animal Show. Say what? They do, or they won't perform. Right in front of the stage stood a tall parrot on a perch. He wore sunglasses. Yes, sunglasses. And around his neck was a whistle. The parrot squawked, Silence, please! This is a grammar-powered performance. Say the correct sentence, or no show. He pointed one feather toward a lazy-looking dog lying on the stage. What does he do? The parrot demanded. I hesitated. Lily whispered, Remember, it's he, so you need an S on the verb. I nodded and said, He jumps. The parrot blinked. The crowd held its breath. Suddenly, the dog stood up and leapt through a giant hoop. The audience clapped. The parrot nodded proudly. Very good. Again. What does she do? A cat walked slowly onto the stage. She had a crown on her head and a small book in her paw. I thought for a second and said, She reads a book. The cat purred and sat down in a little chair. She opened her book and actually started reading it. Yes, a real cat. Reading. Lily leaned over and said, See, it's simple. Just remember this. For he, she, and it, we add s to the verb. He walks, she eats, it barks. She pulled out a small notebook and showed me a chart. Subject, verb, example. To play soccer. You eat lunch. He plays soccer. She eats lunch, it runs fast. We play games. I smiled. Okay, that makes sense now. Just then, a monkey rolled onto the stage on a skateboard. The parrot yelled, "Final round. What does he do?" I laughed and said, "He rides a skateboard." The monkey gave a thumbs up and zoomed across the stage, spinning in a circle. The crowd cheered. Before the show ended, the parrot flew into the air and said, "Your turn, audience. Finish these sentences." He called out 3 incomplete lines. She, hiaj, to music. He, aghar in the kitchen. It, loudly at night. I answered in my head. She listens to music. He cooks in the kitchen. It meows loudly at night. The parrot smiled. "Well done. You're ready for the next part of the park." A golden path lit up beside the stage. At the end of the path was a sparkling fountain. Lily turned to me and said, "That's the grammar fountain. If you answer the final quiz, you can move on." As we walked toward the fountain, I thought about everything I'd learned so far. Present simple is simple, once you see it in action. It tells us what we do every day, what he does, what she does, what it does. And now, I was ready to try it, myself, without help. Well, maybe just a little help from a talking fountain. We arrived at the grammar fountain. It sparkled with rainbow colors. Water danced in slow motion, and floating above it was a crystal screen that read, "Final challenge. Present simple quiz pass this, and unlock the path to Tense Tower." Lily gave me an encouraging look. "You've got this, Sam. I'll stand by." But no hints this time. The water shifted. A voice echoed from the fountain, calm, deep, and ancient. "Welcome, learner. Answer correctly, or repeat the lesson." "Okay," I said. "Let's do this." The first question appeared in glowing letters. 1. Complete the sentence. I breakfast at 7 a.m. I thought for a second. I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. The fountain sparkled. Correct. 2. What is the correct sentence? A. She play guitar on weekends. B. She plays guitar on weekends. I smiled. B. She plays guitar on weekends. A burst of golden light shot from the water. Correct again. 3. Listen carefully. You will hear a short paragraph. Tell what tense it uses. The fountain spoke slowly. Liam wakes up at 6. He drinks coffee. He goes to work. He drives a bus. Then it asked, "Which tense is this?" I answered, "Present simple." "Why?" the fountain asked. I thought carefully. Because it describes his daily routine. It uses the base verb with S for he. The fountain glowed brighter. Excellent. 4. Complete the chart. The fountain showed subject verb, to walk. Walk she? They walkie said, "She walks." "Why?" the voice asked. Because with she, we add S in present simple. A joyful bell rang through the air. The fountain's waters rose and formed a staircase. Above it, a golden sign appeared. You may now enter Tense Tower. I turned to Lily. I did it. She smiled. Told you it was easy once you see. The pattern. I looked around the park one last time. The roller coaster, the animals, the magical fountain. I'd come here afraid of grammar, but now I felt proud. I didn't just memorize rules. I used them, I understood them, and I was ready for the next step. So that's the end of my first day in Grammar Town. Thought grammar was boring, but now I see it's full of life. When we talk about what we do every day, when we describe facts, we use the present simple. I wake up. You listen. He learns. She tries. We grow. They speak. And me, I explore. I learn. I go on to the next adventure, to the next part of grammar, to the next story. Thanks for joining me on this journey. See you in the next episode. when I step inside the mysterious halls of Tense Tower. Until then, keep speaking, keep smiling, and keep it simple. The present simple.
Thank you for joining me tonight. Don't forget to subscribe for more gentle stories. Until next time, sweet dreams.